Hey,
Hi, welcome to Monday.
it's
I hope
Monday.
everyone had a nice Easter weekend. If you celebrated, I hope it was joyful and peaceful. And if you didn't, I hope you got rest and relaxation and a little bit of peace in your lives. I'm joined by my good friend Therese and our good friend Caro, the amazing author, and we're happy to have her back because she's been busy.
Yeah,
And
make me work.
welcome, chat. Thank you guys for coming. We really appreciate it.
Hey,
It's
Chat.
always fun. It's always fun to see what you guys get up to in the chat and all your suggestions. And I haven't run this by Therese, but I wanted to put a question out there for you guys to respond to, maybe on our Instagram, and then we can talk about it one episode. What is the pattern? What's your dream pattern to make the one that's out of your comfort zone, that's just on your list, that your goal pattern? What's that one thing that you think you're not ready for yet, but you want to make it someday? And just post on our Instagram and then we'll talk about it. Oh, Travelori starting a shawl with Chicken Lady Sparkle Sparkle Troll. Nice.
Oh, yeah. That's
Sparkle
fine.
Sparkle.
I have that on here. I have to actually wind or ball up another skein so I can start working it in here. Maybe I'll do that while we're streaming.
I had to replace my winder because my other one kept not fully winding skeins. They would pop off and tangle up. They would not wind right. The yarn was twisting around, and so I had to get rid of my winder, which was sad, but it was cheap, so I'm not going to be heartbroken over it. It's just a pain because you've got to wait a few days when you really need it.
Yeah, so. I did that. When was it? A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I remember.
The yarn costs more than the ball winder. I think I'll just.
Exactly. Exactly. And my big Swift, I had to stop using because the ball bearings are stuck, so I have to take it apart and figure out what the problem is. So I had to pull out my old Chinese plastic umbrella Swift that clips to the table that I kept, even though I got better Swifts along. I'm like, I hope this thing still works. And then I had to remember how to maneuver it to get it to stick on the table right without that bottom part sticking down, blocking it. And it was just like, I knew I used to know how to do this. There's got to be a way without having to look up how to do this. And then I finally got it working. But it's always good to keep your skills up, I guess.
Yep.
So that was my excitement. What about you guys? Anything new and exciting?
No. Kara, what's going on with you?
A lot. Work-wise, we dropped another book this morning, so I was awake and ready for that, which turned out to be interesting because, trying to get people to get stuff prepped up for a Monday release over a holiday weekend is not very easy.
Oof.
But we did that, and then last week we dropped another book last week. We just keep dropping books, guys. Sorry, I'm trying to it's been a really long day. It's been a Monday, so my thought process is kind of like, boo.
It's me every day.
Yeah.
And then I found out today that somebody that we were working with in Ripasend announced that we were launching a book, and I went to the team and I was like, I didn't know that we had said that we were doing that, and they were like, we haven't. And I was like, oh, I guess we are now.
Oops.
So I mean, the project's pretty much done, so I don't blame them for it. And maybe something got said in passing, and that's when they were kind of like, oh, okay, cool, let's just go ahead and do it. And I was like, okay, cool, I guess we're doing it. So.
Yeah, I can see that happening. People get excited. What have you been working on?
A shawl.
Yeah, I was about to say, why is that a question?
Well, I don't know. Maybe you were on a different shawl.
You know what? I do have another shawl in the other room, and it's just made with one skein of yarn that's granule. But it's just a simple moss stitch for that one. But I was like, I have to come back to my true love. I have to make the shawl that my Nana can't steal from me. Granted, I'm starting to Nana's not going to be able to steal it if I don't finish it. Right?
Right.
Well, here's the thing. What you can do is always make a second something totally different and then pawn that off on Nana when she goes for the one you want to keep.
Yeah.
Say, but Nana, I made this one just for you.
Yeah, she's not going to care. She's going to be like, I like this other one that you clearly spent hundreds of hours making.
Well, it was worth a shot. I tried.
Yeah. You know how Nanas are. Of course, Nana's going to get what she wants, and I'm not actually going to argue at the time, but I do tease her about it right now. I'm like, you shawl thief. And she's like, I'm so sorry, but it looks so good on me.
Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
My Nana's or my grandma is the one who taught me how to crochet, so she would have made her own. So I didn't have to worry about her stealing stuff from me because she was the one making stuff for me. I was the spoiled middle grandchild.
Aw.
So it was kind of nice because my brother was the first boy and the oldest. And then my cousin and I were in the middle, and then there were two younger ones who got spoiled. So though we did not get spoiled in our individual families, we did get spoiled by grandma, which was nice. She used to make me matching Barbie clothes. So she would make me a dress and Barbie got a matching dress. None of the other girls got that.
Wow.
I was special. Of course, she also taught me how to sew at the same time. So I think that's why me being interested in doing the crafty things was something that other girls weren't interested in. So,
Yeah.
Hey, Tina. Hey, Kat. Hey, other Kat and Lori and Deanna and everyone in the chat. Thanks for coming.
Guys.
What you up to, Therese?
What am I up to? I have a finished object.
Yay.
I want to see.
I actually finished something. No, I've been finishing stuff lately. I don't know what's up with me. So I have my ranunculus.
Oh, let me make you big. Hold on.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Big, make that sweater big.
Yeah, but that way you can see. I love that blue. It looks great.
Yep. I didn't do the ribbing on the bottom. I did I-cord edge. And on the
Oh,
sleeve.
nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Ooh.
I need to cast another one of those on.
Okay. You can make me small again, please.
I am.
So that's done.
I've been wanting to do another one, but just, I'm working on the pattern for my test knitters, which will be out this week, not last week, because I couldn't find my notes on how I did the yoke. And so that was interesting. So I was looking at it like, I don't remember what the cast on was. I don't remember how I did this. And then I had to search and they'd fallen underneath my recliner. So now I can get to them and get them written up. So, which is a big relief because I would have been sad.
Yeah.
So
that'll be good.
So what are you working on now that you got a finished object?
Well, now I'm like, I can't decide what I want to do and blah, blah, blah. And I went back to that not effortless cardigan, but the purling is boring me. So I started a summer cotton crochet. This is just the start of it. Just a sweater,
Nice.
cotton for the summer. Because it's crochet and I don't have to purl.
There you go. That is true. That is one of the positives of crochet is that you do not have to purl. Hi, Ames.
Hello.
Welcome to Monday.
Please hold.
Sup, dog?
Did you have a nice weekend?
I did. Darn.
And your
Excuse
holy
me.
days went well?
I'm stuck on things. Hold on. Yes, we can eat bread again.
That's good.
Well, you can't, but
Well, I can eat gluten-free bread.
She can eat the gluten-free bread, yeah.
Yes, I can eat gluten-free bread. Aha! Ooh, that's bright.
So leavening is back on the table then, huh?
Yes. Oh my! Oh, it's brighter. That's not better. Okay. Oof. Is that too bright? Peeps?
No, that's good.
I mean, Caro's on the surface of the sun, so,
It's just a little bright here. It's
Maybe I'm just trying to.
It's fine.
It is definitely not bright here. It is nasty and gray and gross outside. So I figured I'd help a little with the light. So
Yeah, bring yourself some positive light. So what you've been working on, Miss Amy, besides your sweater?
I'm stalling on my sweater.
I
'Cause-
wondered since you hadn't posted anything on it.
Because I need to add another round of squares on the fat part of your arm, and then decide if I'm actually going to keep going in squares for the pattern, or if I'm just going to let it go and be like, hey, figure out how to add more and put a cuff on it.
Do you have more of the gray?
I do.
You could just do one more row of squares and then do just regular knit sleeves.
I could just do regular stuff. I could be like, look, you can make it whatever you want. Stockinette sleeves, granny square sleeves, whatever floats your boat. It's a recipe, not a pattern. You should know how to knit.
Yeah,
just like you should know how
choose
to
your
cook.
own. Choose your own adventure. It's fine.
Yeah.
That's right.
So yeah,
Nice.
I need to work with that. And then I'm working on a baby blanket as always because I need baby blankets.
I heard ya.
And-
Saw your post.
That's what I was busy. That's what I was late doing. Was doing some of the
Do
business
you want-
part.
I know you've put this out there before, but just because people are going to ask, is there any specific size you want right now?
Bigger than newborn would be great, but if newborn is all you have in your wheelhouse, that's okay too.
Okay.
Just because certain the newborn stuff more goes to the hospital go bags, and mine are a little bit older, so I might
Gotcha.
not send them a package till they're 3 or months older. So, but I'll take anything and everything.
Okay. You guys heard it directly from Amy. The babies need you. So
I have a handy dandy little info sheet. If anybody needs.
I have some baby socks that are in the other room that I cast on, and I'm going to an anime convention this weekend and with my daughter, and I plan to knit during the panels. So I thought I would make baby socks.
Good, yeah.
So because those are lightweight and quick, and I can sit and do that. So we'll see.
Yep.
Haven't told her yet that I'm knitting, but we'll see. She probably won't be surprised though. I think we're being joined by Ann Pinkover herself.
Yay!
Oh, hi.
Hey
Sorry.
Ann, welcome.
Sorry, I'm late. Okay, I had to stop for a burrito on the way home from work. I was starving.
You should eat. Eating's important.
I love eating.
I do it like 3 times a day.
Clearly.
Yeah, it's a big deal for me. We're having make your own omelets for dinner. So
We're having
I don't
fake. I told them to either eat the fake Jesus chicken nuggets I got from Sam's or take care of yourself. So.
Well, they basically are cooking their own, and if they don't like how their omelet comes out, it's not my problem.
Mm-hmm.
So
We had butter chicken.
Oh yum. We had shrimp bowl yesterday, which was good, which is not conventional Easter food, but that's what my daughter picked, and so we did. So I've been playing around with lace, and
I can't
The
see
start
y'all with this
of
part. Like,
it's a sweater,
okay.
and it's lace on the top, and then the bottom is all going to be red
Oh,
because I had started it in another color, but I didn't have enough of the yarn.
Mhm.
So, and what inspired me was I cast on my Bright Access tee, and then it's from the bottom up, and
Mm-hmm.
that was a lot of stitches from the bottom up, and
Yeah.
and I wasn't sure if my gauge was right. So I'm like, I want to do something a similar shape, but top down.
Mhm.
So yeah, so the top is just a lace that it come to about midway to your armhole, and then I pick up the solid color so that it's not lace, covering the bits, because
Right.
some people, Tabitha, make names
Don't.
for that.
Don't want a nip slip.
Don't want a nip slip. I don't want a nip slip either. So
nobody does.
the only thing is I wish I had done it separately. I just did the back and then did over the shoulders and then cast on across in the middle to pick back up. And I'm wondering if I would have been better off to do a seam over the top to give it more strength, but it's lightweight and it's fingering. So I think it should be fine.
I saw one recently that sounds similar, but the way when they did the transition from the lace to the stockinette, it's like right in the middle of your boot.
No,
And
this is a little bit
Oh,
higher.
that's
No,
unfortunate.
I don't like that.
This is a bit higher,
yeah.
a little bit. And then,
Yeah, that's one thing I would like if anybody wants to test my handy dandy recipe sweater that's not a pattern. I'm all ears for testers because I think it cuts weird. but that might just be my chesticles.
I think
So I'm curious how
we don't have to use that word anymore
people.
because women we don't need to use that word anymore, do we?
I don't know. That's my word for it, just to be silly. But I am on the lower end of the alphabet, so I'm just curious how the higher end of the alphabet the squares might sit differently. You know what I mean?
The lower
Yeah.
end. There's 26 letters, Amy.
No, what she means is,
Well, I don't know how high they go.
You're
Mine only
further
go
down. Okay.
they're the lower end. Some of us, as we get older, the gravity takes
Well,
over.
that's-
Just saying. Some of us don't have perky as the description anymore.
And
So
even if they're not perky, you still need the space for them. So, it'd be helpful
Yeah.
to know how many squares people need and where they want it to stop on their,
right.
so.
Because there
Oh,
was
thank
one,
you, Wendy.
because Neil's test knit thingy, I was like, oh, that was some unfortunate placement for some of those sweaters.
Yeah, but the thing is, the people who did them won't care, or they'll
I
emphasize
know,
it, and it's
but-
like, this I don't know if it's going to be a pattern or not because I would have to really figure out the lace and all, but we'll see. The other one I hope to get out this week if I can, now that I found my notes on how to write it up. So, because that was a problem, but we shall see. See what happens. So.
I'm just a little gobsmacked that it's almost May. So.
I know. I said that today.
I know April went by really super fast. Like this whole quarter of a year is gone.
Like January just draw
Mm-hmm.
and then
Anne, what are you working on?
Me?
Mhm.
Well,
Yes, you're the only Anne here.
I don't know. I'm still working on that beret, but I went to Joann's again. They actually had people standing on the side of the road with signs saying closing, closing, closing.
oh wow.
Yeah, yarn went down to 50%.
Ooh.
So,
Okay,
but
now we're talking. But how
Right
much
now,
was there?
now I'm interested. Yeah.
now we're talking. But still,
But is there any left
Yeah.
not a lot. There was very spare. And of course, because the lovely Amy needs baby blankets, I'm like, well, I have to now.
Mhm.
So I got some truly. Oh, and they didn't actually have real bags either, so they kept shoving things in Notions bags.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
wow.
I had to buy my own tote, not from them, next door over, because
So
otherwise,
duly
it's like, oh,
noted. Bring
bad
your
plastic
tote.
bag.
Bring a tote. Yeah.
Yeah, their totes were done. But anyways, there's these really
Ooh.
being blown
No.
out a
Pretty.
bit, but the
Pretty.
yeah, kind of sugary, kind of loud. I'm like, that would be very good for a
Maybe.
baby's blanket.
The loud
The
is
mandala's
okay.
so good for babies. Yeah.
Bright colors help stimulate their vision.
Yeah, they need that or something. But I also have some like greens and blues. Oof, that's very bright looking. But 4 more boy blankets because you said you were totally out of those.
I'm totally out of girls, and I only have like 2 boys. So
Okay.
basically I'm out of both.
So basically, either way, you need
Yeah.
them.
Did you happen to glance at the flannel situation in fabric while you were there at your
Oh,
store?
yeah.
It was very, very empty generally. There
Hmm.
was some fabric left. There was some quilt books left,
Mhm.
but just barely. Surprisingly, the Patton's Croy was all left, but I grabbed many.
Yeah. Why not?
But even
Well,
then,
that's a great workhorse yarn, though.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's fantastic. But again, it is $7.50 for a ball. So at 50% off, I'm still like, if I get all of this, I am still
Right.
very broke.
Right.
So, anyways,
I remember when it was $3.50 a ball,
Mhm.
and that
Well,
wasn't
see, I
so
went,
long
like-
ago.
I went like 3 weeks ago, and all the yarn was kind of like they still hadn't discounted a lot of remember the Red Stripe did the squares, but then they came out with the flower power one too that makes flowers. None of that was discounted, and then they had like some big twists. So I kind of cleaned out what I could get a big twist that I felt would work for my book blanket and baby blankets, and then the yarn, the fabric was like some of it was 30% off, some of it was 40% off. So I'm like, none of it was really like great
Not
deals, but
liquidation prices.
I still went ahead and got like $100 worth of flannel because I don't know where else I'm going to get flannel, now.
Yeah.
Because, my friend surges it into, why are words so hard today? Swaddling blankets for me.
Mm.
So I think Hobby Lobby has some flannel, but I have no clue how their prices are.
Every other week, 30% off.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
my
like
husband-
Joann's would have like $3.50 a yard, $2.99 a yard. So.
My husband's aunt had one of those rollers that pokes holes through the flannel,
Yeah.
and then she would crochet edges on them
Yeah.
for swaddling blankets. But now
Yeah.
she has arthritis and can't do it.
Yeah, that is cute. And I've done that before, but she can serge them like no time for that. So.
Oh yeah.
I'm watching Caro with the end of the yarn angle. Oh,
She cut it.
Did she just cut it?
wow. Decadent.
It's less sweary that way.
It is. I spent an hour untangling yarn the other night because I refused to cut it.
I am a shameless cutter. I will cut.
I will, but I was it just pissed me off, and I was like,
Mhm.
no. So I sat in front of the TV and just.
So, yesterday, having a fun Easter, my mom has this orange sweater that she knit, and it's out of like nice superwash wool. And but it was, even though, and it was a commercial yarn, but it was it looked like a hand dyed yarn. It was tonal, and it said it was the same dye lot, and it really wasn't. So the sleeves were different colors, and she's like, "That's it. It all goes." But alas, I had woven the ends, so that it was in there. It was intricate. I'm pulling this apart. Excuse me. So, and then, okay, there had been an issue that at the armpits it had gapped a bit, so I was like looping yarn back up and weaving it together, and, doing all of that and taking it out. And then she had been like, "Oh, so for the placket in the front, I want the first button to open, but just sew down the rest of them." And I'm like, "Why do you make me do this?" And she's like, "Throw it away, Anne, throw it away." And I'm like, "It's good yarn though." So I have it still, but the rest of it, she's like, "Just get rid of it."
Why don't you just overdye it?
Well, you could have overdyed it. There was some structural things though, like the collar was weird and loose, and you could have overdyed it, but anyway.
I mean, not that I would have overdyed it. I would have donated it.
Not that I would have.
I'm harsh.
Oh no, Tina's yarn.
I can't. Oof, cut it though.
Oh no.
Oh no. I have not
That's
had
awful.
much. I haven't had a lot of hand dyed tangle terribly. Sometimes the skeins are a little wonky when you go to wind them on the cake, and sometimes it's like, how did that even flip that way? But I've had a couple of skeins where I've just like, as I'm trying to wind it to a cake, I've had to cut it. I'm like, what? I should not have to cut it from the skein, but I know stuff happens. But it's mostly the mass manufactured, like the cakes that are like,
Yeah.
just hidden, we're gonna vomit all over you.
I don't mind that. I hate when you get a cake that's been cut and then when it's reattached, the colors don't line up the way they should have. That's annoying.
Yeah, that is annoying.
Especially when you're trying to keep the color order right for a blanket or something. So, no, I think I'm going to cast on a ranunculus soon. I got this yarn. I don't know. It's brighter than I thought it was, so I don't know. But
wow,
that's pretty though.
It's citrusy green, so I think I'll probably just use it with something else. So I think it's too bright for me to wear. But it's only a couple skeins, so I'll work it in with something else, maybe some kind of blanket or something. But other than that, nothing exciting.
I do have to tell y'all, I would like to share the not snarky, but sarcastic email I sent Lynn because I know she would get a kick out of it. Because bless her heart, she's been sick, So she sent like, hey, sorry, packages aren't coming out as fast as they normally would because you've been sick. And I was like, oh no, whatever will I do when can't get a package of yarn that will sit in my podcast bag for 4 months because I need to show it on the podcast, and we've not
Right.
recorded a podcast in 4 months, so therefore it shall live in the bag until we have the podcast. Len, how could you do this to me? Oh, the humanity!
No, by the time you get to the podcast, you're gonna be like, "Ooh, look at all this yarn I have."
Literally,
Then-
like, I forgot I got this.
And then you look at it and like, what? What did I get this for?
What?
Oh
What-
no, I never know
what-
what I did before. That's not a problem. But I've literally done that several times where we do the podcast. I'm like, oh, I forgot I got this. Oh, I forgot I got this.
It's like Christmas.
So I was like, Lit, really? Like, really? Like, how many of us actually immediately use the yarn? I know some things you do. But I was like, come on. The vast majority of us are like, oh, that's pretty. Let's buy it. You know?
Yeah, and we're not afraid of a lady die situation with Lynn. She's pretty good.
Right. I'm like, ma'am, it's okay for you to just live with your snot for a week. It's fine. We'll be all right.
We'd rather you get well than,
Yeah.
make yourself sick longer.
Or get snot on our yarn. Yeah.
I had to mess with her.
Or whatever would you do? I mean,
Because literally, I didn't get anything that I needed, like, that had, like, a plan. I mean, actually, one did have a plan, because I got her law enforcement colorway, but not because it's a law enforcement color, which yay cops, but it looks like Saints colors. So that's why I got it. And I don't even remember what the other thing I got was. Oh, maybe it was the Let Them Live minis. Maybe that's what I got.
Ooh.
See, I don't even...
That would make sense.
So it's like, oh no, what will I do? The humanity.
oh, I know.
Let
I
me
was-
go on Craft Snark and like talk crap about it.
Please, those people have no life.
I know.
Seriously, like they worry and they get worked up about the weirdest stuff. Like it doesn't affect you. No one's put a gun to your head and said you have to test it for somebody.
My favorite one
Um,
I saw this week, somebody was bitching about a dyer or something and says, "So what do we think about this?" And I'm like, "Oh,
So
You
what?
have
You
to
can't make
ask
your
what
opinion
people-
until
Yeah.
you ask.
what do we
Well,
think about this?"
Well,
You know?
they're sharing one brain cell, so
Right.
Like, okay, how
It's
about
groupthink.
you tell me what you think about
What do
it,
you
and I'll
think? Yeah.
tell you what I think about.
It was just that cracked up. What do we think of
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, ew.
it? Hive.
I mean, yeah, I don't have a problem of pointing out where you're getting a business is not doing what right. Like if they're, doing
Right, if
badly
it's
by their
excessive.
customers.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. But the piling on when it's just a personal preference, it's like, I don't
Right.
like that, they were going off on the Knit Stars thing, which is totally overpriced anyway, because I guess the lady running it was anti-vax. And do these people, these Knit Stars know, and yet they signed with her? I just can't deal with this. I'm blocking all of them. Okay, good for you. Good for you. I'm glad you made that choice, but
Sounds like
leave
you're
the rest of the world,
vaccinated.
Exactly.
leave the rest of the world alone, why don't you? Let them make their own
That's my
choices.
response.
I don't get the knit.
Sort of bizarro guilt by association. I'm blocking all of them just in
Mhm.
case. It's like they're not hurting you.
Right.
fine.
Like,
They're
okay.
fine.
Like, you don't have
Hey.
to follow people you
These
don't
people
want to.
aren't even
That's-
interacting with you.
that's
They're
simple,
not
yeah.
even like
Yeah.
You weren't going to pay for the Knit Stars to begin with, so why do you care? Like,
Repeat
know.
after me. Parasocial relationships are not real. Let's say it again, kids. Parasocial relationships are not real. Unless
Well,
you're
and-
actually interacting with someone regularly in a private setting, which could be a chat. I understand that. But you following someone on social media and liking their stuff, they don't know
when
who
they
you
chin
are,
and don't care.
and they don't care.
No,
So
no. I mean, it just blows my mind sometimes. They get so offended. And yeah, when people are being treated badly or they're stealing from someone, yeah, I have no problem with them calling that out. If somebody's sewing pattern is identical to someone else's sewing pattern, yeah, call them out. That's wrong.
yeah, or
But-
if you order 10 skeins of yarn and then you never got it, okay, that's fine. You tell them.
Mhm.
But they go from everyone deserves a living wage to designers charge too much to let's steal patterns, but stealing
Like-
patterns is bad, but designers should get a living wage. It's like,
And capitalism bad, but then yeah, it's
Yeah,
Only
capitalism
some
bad.
capitalists.
But what kills me is the ones that the ones that get offended when other people have stashes.
Oh
Like
yeah.
I couldn't live with that overconsumption. I don't know how these people function. It's just wrong. They're hurting the environment.
My yarn is in my house.
Right.
It's not in the trash can. Like,
It's not out
hurting the
in the
environment.
street.
It's like,
In fact, I am
overconsumption
helping the sheep.
and cattle
Mhm.
overconsumption and capitalism is wrong. And and then someone got mad because
Hey, the
people who
dyers.
could afford to buy yarn was still getting thrift store yarn and not leaving it for poor people.
Oh my gosh. Seriously? Well, then my sister would be in trouble.
I am to poor people.
Because my sister's an equal opportunity yarn buyer. She will buy it from a thrift store. She will buy it from an indie dyer. She will buy it from a mass manufacturing store.
Mm-hmm.
Yard sale.
Yep.
Yeah, how is buying it from a yard sale not? If you buy it from a yard sale, aren't you saving the environment? Because then you're saving it from the trash.
But you're not saving it. You can afford to buy regular priced yarn. You should leave thrift yarn for poor people. That's their
But
philosophy.
whether I can afford it or not is neither here nor there. But I could buy more yarn if I buy it from the thrift, thus saving the environment more.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
So
but that
therefore,
is that
therefore-
poor people don't know where the good yarn is for the
then
bargain.
therefore they hate the planet. That's what that means. Yep.
Poor people can
Well-
just get the yarn before I do, and then that will just solve everything.
yeah.
Poor people should just be fast. Get good.
And then
Paul.
it gets into natural fibers versus unnatural fibers, and then the people who are allergic to wool have to post and say, well, I'm allergic to wool, so I can't use that.
Good for
Or
you.
Or I don't want to give a baby blanket that somebody has to block and dry and hand wash because they've got a baby. Like the last thing they need to do is worry about, hand knit and fine wool.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of like book and author too, because like sometimes like they'll come out with like a thing. It's like, okay, based on this book blurb, I think that the author might be like anti-Semitic and like all this other stuff, so I'm not going to buy the book. And I was like, there's nothing in there that indicates any of that. It's like, well, it's just how I feel, when I read this book blurb. And I'm like, like you just wanted to come out and boycott something just so you could say you could do it because it's fucking Tuesday.
Well, Lissy Knit says that they're worked up today because someone feels bad about herself because other people knit faster. So no one should be allowed to knit faster.
Okay, so hear me out here. I used to hang out with like writing streams, right? And it's just what you think it is. Instead of like crocheting together, we write together, right? And I stopped telling them what my word count was at the end of sprints because not that any of you would be surprised, but I type very fast, right? And so what ended up happening is like, we would get that at the end of like a 15-minute sprint and they'd be like, how much did you write? And I was like 1,100 words. And they'd be kind of like, well, I'm just going to quit writing. And I was like, what?
Come on, guys.
Well, that's dumb. Like, if I'm a better cook than you, are you going to stop eating? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, so it just got to the point where I was like, I wrote one word. It's like, that's all you wrote in 15 minutes? Like, yeah, I wrote one word, just one. And then, of course, like somebody would send me like a DM, like, is that followed by like 3 zeros? And I was like, maybe. But yeah, no, it's just so weird. Like,
Yeah, Tina said somebody whining about skinny people buying plus sizes from thrift stores for the baggy look, complaining that bigger people couldn't buy clothes now.
Okay.
I would just like to say that I am grateful to live in a portion of the country where you can find the fat girl stuff at the thrift stores. So, I mean, we are equal opportunity here.
Yeah, we are very
Apparently,
bad down here.
wherever this lady is, she's having issues. But
like, okay, that makes no sense because have they not? I mean, there's been documentaries about the amount of waste that the American people, particularly in clothing, do because other people who are rich buy brand designer things and then they just throw it away. We're over here at Target and Ross and Walmart and Goodwill. Like, okay, I'm a big girl, but I buy the next size up because guess what? I'm not hang drying all my clothes, so they're gonna shrink in the dryer. Sister does not want tight shirts, so if I'm gonna buy a 3X, I'm gonna buy a 3X, and I don't care. And guess what?
And how big of a problem is this really? I mean, are the stores full of skinny chicks buying bigger clothing? Is it that much?
Not from what I see online.
Yeah. They invent stuff to be mad about.
That's what I'm saying. It cracks me up because it's like, and I guess they could be like, well, you're sitting here talking about us, so you're wasting time talking about us too. Okay, but we're also crocheting and knitting at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
So are y'all crocheting and knitting at the same time that you're complaining on Reddit all the time? I doubt it. You have to type it. So
No. First
No,
they
I
have to.
never do.
First they have to live. They have to
Twice.
stew in their unhappiness for a while.
That's my favorite
And-
part, where I just sit here and like marinate in like my suffering. Oh man, so into
Some of
it.
them
I really think my next whodunit should have some kind of craft snark Reddit thread in it.
Just have the
Some
person
form.
found with like a printout of like the snark, and have like the snark be like the clue to who did it,
Like,
right?
yeah, I have to incorporate.
You could
this.
have like it's 5 clues and it is 5 absolutely
In the-
asinine Reddit comments and it's just stapled to them. Like
Wow,
you
just
printed
fun.
that
That's
out.
going to be fun to pick.
No, sorry.
Well, and I don't know. A lot of knitters don't go online and don't engage socially online. They just, get their knitting patterns, they look at pictures of things. And that's how I was with a crocheter before I ever joined Instagram. And it was like, I didn't need anyone else's approval. I didn't need, anyone's going to call me out for what I may or may not buy.
Nope.
And if the world is too hard for you, that's making your life miserable, maybe you need to take a step back from social media.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Because
That's what's
I don't
funny,
know.
is the same people that are going to rant on Reddit are the same people that will sit there and make a post and be like, it's okay to curate your world so that it's safe for you. Which,
no, it's not.
I mean, I agree to a point that if you need to, your social media is your social media. So if you cultivate it to how you want. Now, that could also result in you making an echo chamber, but so be it. If that feels fine to you, okay, I don't care. But you don't get to go and whine and moan and boo-hoo that the world doesn't agree with you if you're cultivating your space.
Yeah, I don't know. I think
Cultivate your space and then stop bitching about it. So
I think it's gotten to a point where people like don't have the abilities to deal with things any longer.
No.
Like literally cannot deal with basic things. And they pitch temper tantrums and things, and it's like I watched a court case where this.
I have an update
on Minecraft Land.
On Minecraft Land mediums.
Oh, okay.
There was a Minecraft backhoe excavator and safety cones on the mediums.
Ooh.
But it rained today, so nothing happened.
I bet that player had a lot of fun putting those up.
It rained in Minecraft Land today, and it's supposed to rain for like the next 3 days, so nothing will probably happen in Minecraft Land. But then the other citizens of Minecraft Land have now decided to complain and worry about speeders when the mediums are gone. And I didn't even do anything. Stop doing the thumbs up. I don't know why. I don't know where they have been for the last 2 years of this argument and the meetings and the talk and the chit chat and talking to the mayor. Like, I don't know where they've been.
They were on another server. They just transferred.
Yeah, they must have been on another server in their Minecraft Land. But in our Minecraft Land, too bad, so sad, they're going away.
There's plenty of developments in areas that don't have mediums.
So now we can place our wagers as to how long it actually takes, because it's just the first 2. So
yeah, I don't understand the world. People are weird. Just putting it out there.
well, it's okay to be weird.
Like I watched this court case where the woman's getting evicted, and she didn't get a lawyer because she felt it's the trial. Okay, they're having a bench trial because she wouldn't take a settlement with the landlord to get her out because she had all these infractions. She didn't think to get legal representation. It's not criminal, so the court doesn't provide one. And she's like, well, I just thought it would get to a point where someone would tell me whether or not I needed a lawyer. And the judge is like, that point would have been the point when you decided to go to trial. And he goes, well, do you have any evidence? No, she didn't bring anything with her. So now we're going to have testimony. Do you want to testify? I don't know what that means. It's like, ma'am. It's like, Judd, he was just like, he's like, I can't give you legal advice
Right.
legally, but I'm telling you, you should have had a lawyer. And then they agreed they were going to evict her, but they were giving her extra time with a conditional dismissal that if she got out by that time, they would dismiss it and it wouldn't go on her renting history, which was very nice of them because they didn't have to do that. And the judge is telling her, they don't have to do that. This is a benefit for you because you get public housing funding and it won't show up there. And she goes, well, I don't know what to do. I don't know if I should take it or not. Maybe I should go get a lawyer. And the judge is like, no, this is the end of the trial. He's like, no, judgment called. She's like, well, if I take that, can I appeal? He's like, no, it's a condition. You have to consent to it, but they're doing you a favor. She goes, well, I don't know. He goes, you know what? Give her 10 days. Judgment's called. He's like, I can't anymore with this person. Like sometimes I wonder, do they not ever watch like a law TV show or, a movie with lawyers in it? Because even if you didn't learn it in school, somebody's watched, something with a lawsuit or a court case in it.
Hey, I'm getting evicted. What do I do now?
She's like, well, I don't understand because I had these infractions and they were minor, but we talked about it and I settled them, and all the things, outside that apartment and stuff. And the judge goes about, and the fact that your brother was living with you and your mother was living you and your sister was living you and they weren't supposed to. Well, that she had left out gasoline, lighter fluid, and lighters where children run around through this neighborhood.
Oh my.
That's a serious violation, The other neighbors weren't feeling safe. But it's participation trophies, what Emily says. They're never told no. They're never told the world's not going to work in your favor.
Right.
Like we knew in our growing up that the world was a terrible place and that a
man in a white van is going to take you, so you need to be prepared.
If the Russians didn't get us first.
Well, and it didn't revolve around us or our feelings. We had to conform to the world instead of the other way around. And it's not taught that way anymore.
No.
And like I watched some reaction videos where they were reacting to Blazing Saddles, which, is my favorite movie. And it's very disappointing how many people under 25 don't know what quicksand is. Our generation, we were raised that it was going to be very important.
We were ready for quicksand.
Yeah, we were definitely going to die in quicksand. That's absolutely.
Or at least encounter it more than once. I mean,
yeah.
And these people, and granted,
watch out, there's quicksand right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and these people are getting offended, because of the jokes. The humor is very, racist, but that's the point of it, is to point out the racism.
Right.
And that the people change. And what they don't get about it is the Irish were treated worse than the black people in the movie.
Yeah.
Because they're willing to take the Chinese workers and the black workers, but not the Irish. And they were just like, oh, I can't believe he said the N-word and whatever. And like, well, also Richard Pryor wrote most of the dialogue to the movie because he was supposed to be Sheriff Bart, but the studio wouldn't let him because of all his drug problems. So Mel Brooks hired him on to be the writer. So he wrote most of the jokes that all the, inappropriate humor with words you can't say now.
Right.
And these people were just getting like, I can't believe these people, they're so racist whatsoever. I'm like, that's the whole point of the movie. It shows them come around.
Right.
And I'm like, they show the part where the guy's yelling, the sheriff is a near, when he's not saying near. Mm-hmm. And they don't show the part where he takes himself hostage. I'm like, that's funnier to react to. And then I did see one where they were doing Airplane, and it was with the two black gentlemen, and the flight attendant couldn't understand him, and Barbara Billingsley pops up and says, do you need some help? I speak jive.
Yeah.
They start talking. Leave it to Beaver's mom.
Yeah.
And these people were just like, they didn't get it. Like, it's funny. It's not trying to be offensive, because when it's offensive to everybody, nobody can complain. Like, when the humor calls everybody out, nobody gets to complain. So,
I don't know. I will die on the hill that I feel like a huge change occurred in society, along with all the woke and all that bull crap. But a huge change occurred when we stopped making it clear that children were children and adults were adults, and children didn't need to be involved in adult things, and adults didn't need to be involved in children things, other than the supervision you were legally required to give them. But this whole your kid is your friend, they're my
Mhm.
bestie, involve them in all of the adult things of life, of divorces and money and this and that. Whereas it used to be adults had adult problems and you didn't put that on kids, and you also didn't let kids talk to you
Oh yeah.
like your fellow adults. And
Well,
Exactly.
go into
I
Target
blame-
and look at the little girl section and see. We call it. We joke about it. We call it prostitutes. You
yeah,
know?
Yeah. I blame like kid movies, because kid movies used to portray adults as like stupid and retarded,
Yeah.
and they needed the
Yeah.
children to help them figure it out. So it made like kids like not respect adults at all.
right.
Not our cartoons, because our cartoons
No,
were
not our
violent.
cartoons.
Not ours.
Like 80% of them do that. Like it's why I can't
Now
watch
they
it.
do.
And, yeah, and when I used to be a teacher and they used to be like, let's watch this, and I was like, nope. And they were like, why? It's like, because it makes the adult look dumb, and that's not allowed
Yeah.
in my classroom.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I very obviously saw it happen as I was a teacher too, because it was like, and I'm all for validating people's feelings and emotions, but your feelings and emotions don't get to dictate what the rest of the world has to do.
Mhm.
So, I taught my kids that, okay, it's okay to be mad, it's okay to be upset, but it's not okay to take your mad and upset and put it on somebody else, or to hurt other people, or whatever. Whereas now it's like, oh, just be mad and just be upset. And you need your safe space and your coloring books, and the whole entire world will, The day we started clearing classrooms, instead of taking the disruptive child out of the classroom, that was all she wrote.
Mhm.
There's no
I'm
way to
pretty
come back from that.
sure we didn't have safe spaces. And I
thought
don't
it
think
was,
anyone.
we
I
had,
don't
like,
think
one-
anyone asked about my feelings when I was
Yeah.
when I was a
And if you were
child.
disruptive in class, you got kicked out and sent to the principal's office. But sometime in the late 90s and early 2000s, we started just cleaning out the whole classroom and let the one disruptive child destroy it. And we cleared 29 other children out to disrupt their whole day.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, my kids had a kindergarten teacher that didn't put up with that. They were happy when she retired, because she would call the kids out, and like, she wouldn't put up with that. And there was one kid who was causing disturbances and being a little pill, because that's how he got attention. He didn't get any attention from his family other than when he was in trouble. And so he caused trouble. And my husband sat down, because we were parent aides, and he sat down, he's like, why do you do this? And he's like, no, really, I want to know, is there a reason you do this? He's like, well, then they talk to me. And he's like, but do you see how these other kids, they get to do things you don't get to do? Yeah, well, if you acted better, you would get to do those things too. And then we told the teacher what was going on, and she made a point of talking to him and trying to talk to his parents. They really
Right.
didn't care. But she made a point of pointing out to him every day something good that he had done,
That's good.
as well as pointing out the bad, but
Because
it
it is
gradually,
definitely a
with the
snowball effect.
right,
of,
well, yeah,
you know,
but within a few weeks, all she was ever having to tell him was the good stuff,
right.
because he liked the good attention. All he'd
Right.
ever had was negative attention, and that's all he was used to. And it broke my heart, because
Right.
a lot of these kids who don't have actual problems act out because they want attention,
Right.
or they're never told no.
Well, children will act out where they feel safest. So the
Yeah.
kids that act out the most at school are not safe at home. So,
Mhm.
and when
Yeah.
teachers can understand that, then that makes it a little easier. But which is
Mhm.
also really fun as a parent when your kid comes home and unleashes it all on you, because they held it together all day long so that they could be good at school, and they know you're not going to do anything, that you're still going to love them. So,
I remember
Yeah.
I had like one kid, and they were trying to tell me that she was very anxious, and her way of coping with her anxiety was to go to sleep when she was at home. And I was like, I must be like, I don't want to identify as a boomer, but they told me that. And I was like, so you just let her sleep when she got home, and that's why she didn't do her homework? And they were like, yeah, we're going to have to figure this out. And I was like, yeah, dump a fucking cold glass of water in her face until you get her fucking homework done. Like,
Yeah, the enabling parents, because they don't want to have to deal. It's frustrating.
I think it's also partly like parents like to do like, they like to showcase as well. Like, I'll be honest and tell you, the parents that I have probably the biggest issues with were the advocating parents that like to like showcase that they were just being like progressive and different with their kid, and somehow that made them better. But what was really happening is I was parenting their children for them,
Mhm.
while they got to take the credit for it and then yell at me because I was too firm with their child.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, some kids
Well.
need that.
We had one kid, like, I was so confuzzled because I caught him stealing, right? Like, I caught him stealing money, and I was like, okay, I gotta address that. Like, bro, you gotta put the money back. It's not yours. He's like, oh no, it's mine now. And I was like, no, it's not yours. Like, you stole it. You have to give it back. And I had a faculty member come over and it's like, no, that's his money. He can have it now. I was like, I'm sorry, like, am I retarded? Like, is he not supposed to like explain this to me? It's like, oh well, you see, we don't want to cause a friction point, so we're gonna let him have it, and then we'll like deal with it later. And I was like, are you gonna take the money and give it back to the person? They're like, no,
Absolutely.
no. I was,
Like, yes.
Yeah, no.
yeah. They were like, well, we just don't want to cause a scene right here, and I was like, there needs to be a scene.
Yeah.
Like,
I am not afraid to cause a scene. Everybody
Yeah.
knows that.
Yeah, no was something that we heard a lot growing up. Can I do this? No. Can I go to a sleepover in the middle of the school week? No.
No.
I mean, I think there's too much. Yes, you can have what, and a part of it is because previous generations who didn't have a lot, they want to give their children the world, and they never want to tell them no. But no is a good
Yeah,
thing.
but some of these are Gen Xers who are parents
know.
now. I'm like, what? Where were you? Because no,
I know.
no.
Mhm.
Like,
It's just
you know,
a
that's
weird
like that
world.
meme. And it's like, well, how much allowance did you get growing up? I got to live there.
Pretty much. Yeah,
You
we
know?
didn't. My parents didn't do allowance.
Like, my kids
We
didn't get
we did.
allowance.
We lived there and did chores.
Yeah, exactly. My kids did not get, they got allowance around, like, I don't know, 13, 14, because they were too young to work. And, you know, I buy what you need to live. I don't buy your wants unless it's like a special occasion. So to teach them how to budget for their wants and, you know, because they were too young to work, I'm like, they got like, you know, $10 a week or whatever for doing their chores, but they had to actually do their chores. You know, you don't just get it just because you exist, you know, and like, the other day, my son actually told me, he was like, because I always did a thing where like, because once they got to a certain age and their feet stopped growing so flipping much, I was okay buying, you know, more expensive shoes because they do last longer. You know, I give you that.
Yeah.
But when you have boys and they grow fast, you know, that's a lot of shoes. So I was always be like, hey, I'm in for $50. If you want more than $50, you have to pay that. You know, so you know, I'm only in for $50. So
Yeah.
they would put in for the rest of whatever they wanted, you know, and they would wear those shoes all school year. Like, and my son told me the other day, he's like, I forgot how the subject came up, but he was just like talking about how he appreciated, as my oldest, so some of y'all know, he appreciated that we didn't just give them everything, that he understood what it meant to, you know, work for it and earn it. And he was like, I'm really glad we weren't spoiled. And I'm like, oh, write this down.
Today's date.
Yeah, it's I crack up because I watch all these videos where these people talking about hiring in Gen X and how they don't last at their jobs. And I'm not just bashing on Gen X. There's millennials that are the same. And you know how they find reasons not to work. Well, I don't feel comfortable doing this, or you know, all the reasons because they've never been told no, and to be yelled at work because they didn't do their job, they can't handle it. It's like somebody didn't raise.
Gen
Yeah.
Xers are saying
I mean, a Gen Zer. Sorry,
Oh.
it's a Gen.
I was
Sorry,
like-
it's a Gen. It's a Gen
I was
Xers
like-
hire. My bad. It's a Gen Xers hiring the Gen Zers.
Okay, I was like,
Gotcha.
wait, we're the
And-
ones yelling.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, and they're
was
like,
like,
they
oh.
don't understand that, you know, yes, you have deadlines and you need to follow through, and no, you can't, you know, I don't know, make TikToks during work, and then they get fired and they wonder why. It's like the ones who are dressing like sirens, that whole new office siren trend where they dress like they're going to the club to work because it's their
What?
version with Tik. It's a thing where TikTok, and clearly it's people who don't actually work, they make their money off of TikTok, has said that it's this office siren look where they pretty much dress like they're going like the romance novel version of work, you know, where they're,
okay.
you know, sexy siren, what they think looks like a professional suit.
So we being
You know, where
hoes?
Pretty much, yes.
Okay.
And this one girl, I guess she was an intern that was supposed to turn into a $200,000 a year job, got fired because she kept dressing like that. And they told her, no, it doesn't follow the dress code. It's like they don't get the TikTok should not be telling you how to dress for work.
I know.
Okay. Office fashion is totally different. And you're supposed to be a drone. You're not supposed to stand out. You're supposed to not attract attention from your coworkers. You're supposed to be there to work,
Right.
and they, dress like, and then they make all their TikToks of their office siren work where the mini skirts don't go past their butt and their blouses are open or whatever. And it's like, have you never watched a TV show that's set in an office and realized people don't dress like that? Because they
like
don't.
a pharmaceutical rep and you're trying to.
Well, there are some
Well-
TV shows that do have them look like sluts in
Yeah,
in the
there are.
workplace.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I remember when it was a huge deal when Ally McBeal wore short skirts.
Yeah.
And that was a huge controversy thing. But even some of these women make her skirts look long.
I think part of that has to do with, and I hate always blaming this particular movement, but I think it does have to do a little bit with like the feminist movement, because I remember I was having a discussion with an older woman at one point, and she was dressed in a way that I was kind of like, I don't think that's appropriate for the workplace. And she looked over at a guy who, he was fit, his shirt was tight for him to show that he like went to the gym, and he had like special stylized hair and stuff like that. And she's like, well, what am I doing different that he's, what's different from that? And I was like, well, he doesn't have his button down to like here to show off his pectorals. You've got your tits out, but like I kind of understood a little bit of where she was coming from, because when it comes to like looking attractive in the workplace, there's a lot more leeway for men to do it, where women have to be like more conservative. So I think that was when I saw like a rise in that happening. Now, does that make it acceptable? Like, no, I think it's still a conversation that needs to be happen. But I like at work, I tell the women that work in the warehouse, you have to be within OSHA, and I don't want to see any of the 3 B's, which are breast, belly, butt, right? Like, right. I don't want any of it. And that seems to work. So,
yeah.
I mean, when I worked in the art gallery, it was a bit more laid back because it was an art gallery. And we could dress a little bit more casual. And when we had shows, we could really go all out. I mean, granted, some of them use their lack of buttoning on their tops to make sales. But hey, if you're using what God gives you.
I mean, if you're a waitress, I mean,
Exactly.
Tips and tits.
We had one little young girl who came to work with us, and she was trying to sell this group of men. Or my friend, or one of the other girls was, and pulled her in the room to help her move the painting. And she unbuttoned her top before. She goes, go in and smile. She's like, what? Trust me, just go in and smile at the guys. They ended up selling like 3 paintings because, they were getting attention from a pretty girl. It's like, use what you got. Just don't lie to the customers.
People, and I can wear leggings and sweatpants if I want. So,
yeah, but it's just crazy. Like my son's office, they have polo shirts for the company. In his position, he doesn't have to wear them because he's a little higher up now, but he doesn't have to wear suits or stuff. And so he's happy about that because he didn't even have to wear suits at the government job. And after I made him go get a suit for his interview and stuff.
Oh yeah.
But as I told him, since he's going to a wedding this weekend, aren't you glad you have a suit now?
Every man should have one good suit.
Yeah.
Which we wear them to church. So, we have, my men have multiple and I have a ton of dresses. My closet is like the most like weirdest thing. Like you'd see me and what I wear here and you're like, there ain't no way. Like, but I have a whole thing of dresses for church and then it's a couple of jeans and then it's leggings and t-shirts. It's like, that's It's like,
that's how mine was.
I'm either dressed up or I look like a troll. So,
No, I either had dressy clothes or casual clothes when I worked in the gallery, because a lot of people would dress up and wear their fancy clothes on regular days because it's fancy, it's fine art, it's expensive paintings. And my theory was I dressed the way tourists would, because tourists come in, they're not wearing their best clothes, and if you're all dressed up and they're not, they're automatically feeling at a disadvantage.
Uncomfortable.
So if I'm dressed casual like them, they don't see me as a threat as a salesperson.
True.
They're more willing to open up and talk to me. But some of the girls would go all out and like every day. And I'm like, good for you, but I can only do that at shows. And usually it shows by about after the first hour, none of the girls had shoes on anymore because heels hurt and you can't climb ladders in heels. And we'd have to climb up and get some of the paintings off the walls and stuff. So one girl kept wearing super short skirts and they had to keep telling her, every time you climb a ladder to get a painting, everyone can see up your skirt. So you
Maybe that was
might
part of her
want to.
plan.
Got to get the tennis skirts then.
Yeah, but the plan wasn't for her coworkers to see it necessarily because they weren't going to do anything for her. So, yeah. But yeah, just my one boss always wore all her fancy
Speaking of
designer
Gen
clothes
X,
every day.
I wanted to show Kara my bag that I showed last time.
Mhm.
Oh, that's fancy.
No, that's what I call pro life.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you're going to troll us for Amy being on here, we know she's pro-life.
Yes.
Just saying.
But I am also pro-choice knitter on Instagram. Just cause. I don't know what I'm gonna do with it yet, but I'm gonna do something.
You should make it about all sorts of posts about random choices. Should I choose a glass of wine or should I choose a cocktail? Should I knit with blue yarn or knit with red yarn?
I haven't had the brain to deal with it right now yet. To get past all the holy days and everything. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go secure this name before somebody else does. So I don't know what
Make all the
I will
choices
do.
have nothing to do about babies. Just
Maybe I do it to stitch stoppers. Be like this stopper or this stopper.
Exactly. Oh, that's funny. So, Anne, are you getting excited for your trip?
I am getting excited for my trip. I'm a very excited girl.
I can tell. It is exciting.
What are we gonna do
Arrows.
without you?
I know. Because even when she went away last time, she still kept in touch regularly
Yeah.
with videos and stuff.
I'll do my darndest.
Is there less like internets available, or are you just gonna have more busier time?
Probably busier time. This is a
I think they have better internet than we do.
Well, you're not going to be stationary this time. You're going to be traveling. So,
But that's lots of pictures and videos for us when you get back.
Mm-hmm.
that is true.
maybe I'll just be having so much fun. You'll only get two, and one will be like blurry, and the other one will be like an interesting trash can.
At the airport.
just send like a weekly proof of life if you could to
Exactly.
someone.
Right.
So that we know you're alive and we don't need to fundraise for your hostage negotiation.
We don't need to. We don't.
Fundraise. Just tell me her last locale. I'll find her.
We don't need to send Neil on a trip with his vehicle to over to the mainland.
Extract Anne from.
Yeah. So he'd make her. He would make her drive back though, because it'd be so far.
So we can nap.
Turn on the air conditioner, Neil.
That's
So-
right.
My wrist hurt from being zip tied, and he's like, "Yeah." And my butt's been in
so,
this chair for 8 hours.
I came and got you. Jeez.
He would too,
Fine.
but he'd make you stop at yarn stores on the way back.
And maybe Popeye's chicken.
I know he likes Popeyes. I can see him sitting there drinking the gravy.
He said he drank it. So I was like,
I'm like thinking, because he
Yeah.
ran out of biscuit. I'm thinking, why don't you dip the sandwich in it, dude?
yeah.
Or the chicken. Or whatever.
Surely there's regular gravy.
Or the fries. He could have dipped the fries in it.
Yeah, see, my guys don't
I
ever
know.
get the gravy, so I don't.
I like the gravy. I
would
like the gravy and
but they don't.
potatoes better than the fries.
Yeah, they don't like the potatoes, so they get the fries or the mac and cheese.
I don't know. So, Amy, what are you doing besides baby stuff in your sweater? You got anything else you're going to cast on?
If I can ever get to past the point of my sweater, I will do Neil's handy dandy test knit that he's working on. I think that would be perfect for my friend's yarn.
Which one?
His
I'm trying to
feather
think of
things,
his feather thing.
his feather pattern. I don't know if you're in the test group.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking of his new one with the nesting dolls.
Oh no.
I was gonna say I couldn't see you knitting that, but it's very
No,
cute.
that would be an Ann pick of a job, not me. Nope.
I'm not doing it.
Nope.
Anne's not doing it under principle.
You would be if you were leaving the country. Weren't leaving the country, probably.
Actually, I'm not a big fan of Russian dolls. Never
I
made
just wonder what
feel
I wonder
great.
what inspired that from him.
I think they're cute, but I'm not gonna.
I
Yeah,
think-
I mean they're nice, they're pretty, but it's not.
I think they're adorable. I'm just wondering what made him do them. Like what randomly? Oh, I'm gonna chart up some Russian dolls.
I don't know. I forgot how the path went, but yeah, but I would really like to get that started. But I really have to focus on my sweater. This is my scrappy blanket that I just work on every now and then.
I love that.
Because scrappy everything. But it's with my fingering yarn, which I don't have I'm running low. I have plenty, but I like to sporadically grab them, So I need to do more fingering weight projects so I have more scraps. But
Good reason.
yeah, I know. But I have so many, I have bags sitting here that from the beginning of the year I was like, okay, I'm gonna ruthlessly frog things and I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna make plans and I'm gonna No, I didn't. No. Did I? No, I didn't.
Did any of you watch
my
Shauna's?
handy dandy Golden Girls yarn that I bought forever ago from Molly Klein. Complete
I
with a
remember
Golden Girls
that.
bag.
I remember that when she had
So
that.
I need to scan this up because now I'm reading that Golden Girls mystery book and then I could do this all together. Have I started it? No.
And somebody, Travel Lori, wants to know when Shark Week is. Oh, Anne's not here.
There she is.
Shark Week's in July.
So,
It's coming.
Not for a while.
When are you going to announce?
I could make a knot shawl during Shark Week.
When are you going to announce the theme so people can be prepared and
Not yet.
A fine answer. It reminds me when I was growing up and I'd ask my dad a question, he would say maybe, and I was like, when do I get an actual answer? And he's like, well, now the answer is no. And I'm like,
Yep.
But
Yeah, parent.
I need to talk to the logo girl because I'm excited about my idea, which is going to be slightly different from the original idea because people had issues with my original idea. But that's
I
fine.
liked your original idea, but I also like the second idea. So,
I'm glad you think so.
and either way, my job is done.
That's true.
So please don't veer off too much of the idea, or you need to send me those back.
No. I am with you. We are here. We have a theme, though it is a secret theme. We do have a theme. The theme
Let me-
is certain.
I mean, the theme is always sharks, obviously.
Yes.
So that's a given. So
yes, we're not going to get away from the shark thing.
right.
Yeah.
So
Let me know when you need our new logo.
Yeah.
It's always safe to purchase some shark yarn or sharky things or fishy things or whatever.
Always
things.
good.
Smells fishy.
Does smell fishy in here.
Yeah, I'm excited for Shark Week. I love Shark Week. Best.
I like it.
ever.
I'm
don't
very
know what I'll
excited for
do.
Shark Week. Very excited for Shark Week.
I was so lucky last Shark Week because I think I had just gotten back from somewhere and the CSR was gone. And so I was in charge of answering tickets all day. And so I could just sit there and answer tickets and crochet. That's all I did. I didn't have to go to meetings or anything. I was like, I might actually be able to finish Shark Week.
Yeah, it's not like it's around 4th of July or anything, is it?
No.
A couple of years it was close, but not right.
Yeah.
I actually haven't looked lately to see.
This is year 3 or 4?
4, right?
4?
This is your 3?
3? Okay.
It's
Yeah.
3.
Is it?
only 3 because I already got the theme chosen for 4 because I'm
Feels longer.
too much. Here, I will ask the internet.
Speaking of themes for knit-alongs, check out Blocked because Neil's doing his MAGA, Make Orange Great Again,
Yes.
Mal, starting
I will
June
be making
14th.
pumpkins because I hate orange.
Well, my project for the magazine that month, I'm going to use orange yarn for the base, but it won't count because I have to have it done before the actual month. So I think so. Unless it's just due mid-month, but I think the magazine's coming out that month. I have to check with him. So
I don't remember.
I don't know.
I think he said, what did he say today? That that issue is coming out like around July 1st ish.
If it's July 1st, then I can start it and knit in June. That would be good.
I don't know when it would be due. June 15th.
Usually it's the
I'm
15th.
assuming. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, then that case, then maybe I can do it in June.
That's the hoist the colors issue.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. I already have in mind what I'm doing for that.
I have no clue. I have a couple ideas, but my brain just doesn't.
Mine's on theme. I'm very excited.
I'm sticking to the cat one in 1984 for my contributions.
Everything I hear about Shark Week on the interwebs is I don't know. AI tries to lie to you. They try to lie and say they know. They do not know. I scrolled down the page.
I know it's not July 4th week, usually. It's usually
No.
either before or after.
It will be one of the other weeks of July.
Yes. See,
It's important.
Our country can't even get their crap together and get Shark Week on a regular schedule here.
Right.
Like, come on.
It's always
What?
that little surprise.
What has become of us?
Why don't we know?
Let's see if Greg knows.
Let's see.
Hmm.
If these knitters who are freaking out about tariffs keep blocking American dyers, there'll be plenty more yarn for everybody else out there. Oh, the tariffs are coming. I can't buy from America anymore in protest.
I know the Canadians are like, I'm only going to buy Canadian yarn. Okay. That's
Good for you.
That's a good
You should
thing
be.
for your country.
What you should be doing anyway. Yeah.
Yay, Canuck economy.
Oh, okay. So-
I wonder how that'll go.
And Grok says Shark Week is scheduled to take place from July 6th to July 13th, 2025, airing on the Discovery Channel.
No, Rock
platforms.
is a liar. All of the AI is a liar. They don't know, and it won't be until it's on the Discovery website. Other people are saying crap. Do not listen to them. Okay? That could turn out to be true, but not until you see the whites of their eyes. I've been fooled before. You're not being fooled before.
She has been fooled before. I remember she was like, crap, it's totally the wrong week.
Exactly. I saw rumors online, and they're like, "Oh yeah, it's this." No,
Yeah.
no,
It was
we're not
online.
being
It must
fooled.
be true.
I will have to pay attention to that little Shark Week group that I joined on Facebook just because I wanted to see what cool stuff they had. Ooh, I don't like that.
Unfortunately, the Discovery Channel calendar only goes through April 28th.
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought maybe, they would have the whole summer calendar, but no.
Discovery lies. That's all right though. We're gonna have a lovely time.
Yes,
Got
we
some really, really awesome logo ideas.
are.
Gonna do
Uh-oh.
Hmm?
She's going to do T-shirts.
Mm.
But you got to do them early enough so people can get them before Shark Week so they can wear them during Shark
That is
Week.
an issue. We do need to do that.
Well, you don't have to have the dates on the shirts.
No.
Yeah.
If you iron out the logo and get them ready, then people could just have, purchase
Yeah,
them.
just have 2025.
Right.
Yeah. Are you ever going to do a puritanical fun run again? Because a lot of people ask about that too.
Yeah. I'm thinking. I am thinking of it. I'm not going to confirm that one. It's another one where I have again, not confirming for this year at all. but I have the beginnings of a logo idea, and I just need a puritanical concept that also overlaps with a heavy metal album. So once I get that,
Mm.
This feels like something Tina could help with.
as
Mhm.
That's true, but the last one was puritanical knitting fun run and then back in black because you're
Right,
using
right.
black yarn. But
Right.
I feel like we need a little something, a little
Hmm.
I feel like the Hive could help you with that.
Mhm.
Could be.
We do
Again.
have some smart peoples, some smarticle particles.
And people who have crazy sense of humor, which also helps.
Yes.
it's very important.
I was trying to figure out how you could do it with like a Death Clock album. 'Cause I'm really into that band.
Well, throw me some names of songs.
Do puritanical knitting fun run Stairway to Heaven
That's
or Highway to Hell.
to.
Nah.
But it's gonna be black, right?
Pyromania. Set things on fire. Pyromania.
Peacefully.
Yes,
And patriotic.
of course.
I'm burning the city down patriotically and peacefully.
Fiery, mostly peaceful.
Right.
All right. We got Lamb of God and Black Parade in the comments.
This is not my wheelhouse. I will default.
This is not the wheelhouse either.
Well, the song I wanted you to do from Death Clock is called The Coffee Jingle.
The coffee jingle. Like the best part of waking up is metal in your mouth.
Yeah, Black Sabbath. There you go, Anne.
Mhm.
I mean, Black Sabbath in itself
You could play with that, yeah.
you could play with the concept.
Yeah, you could.
Judas Priest.
Do you guys? Like, I'm having a moment. Do you guys know who Death Clock is?
No, not a clue.
Okay, so Death Clock is a fictional heavy metal band.
That's why I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's fictional, but it's really funny because like in this universe that this band is part of, their concerts are so intense that in order for you to attend, you have to sign a death waiver. So that way, like the label's not liable when you die at the concert, right? And
Right.
so like in the very first song that they do, it's the coffee jingle where it's like, do you folks like coffee, real coffee from Colombia, right? Like that's the lyrics. But before the band drops to open up, like they're supposed to like drop like this super like intricate set on this target, but they get it wrong and they kill like a whole bunch of people on the side of it.
I love that Anne's niche and Caro's niche are like
they just cross.
very
Perfect.
distant third cousins. One's just more presentable at Thanksgiving dinner.
It's really good and it's so funny because
I
like
assume you mean that Caro is more presentable at Thanksgiving dinner.
yeah.
It's
Because
kind of a toss up. It's kind of a toss up. I really don't know.
I think Anne would be like more charming and like engaging with people, and I would be like the antisocial person with the Harry Potter book in the corner, only looking at when my name is called and then going back to my reading. And I'm not saying that because I'm trying to be funny. I'm saying that because that's what I do.
Mhm.
To be fair, Amy and I are probably more familiar with the other fictional band, Spinal Tap,
Yes.
Mhm.
that they're
That's
getting
really
ready to
fun.
start the sequel.
That too would be funny. So,
That would
the
be.
sequel does come out in September.
Casey
Yep.
gets me. Casey.
there we go.
I watched some of their old clips
But,
back when they were on SCTV
Oh,
before
God.
Spinal Tap, and when they were a folk band.
Yeah. That's actually a good song.
I know. They're very talented.
Yeah.
That's how they can pull it off. Because either it had to be so fake and bad that it was bad,
Right.
or they had to have enough talent to pull it off.
I'm actually
So.
excited about that movie. So.
Yeah.
See, I'm just laughing because, differences between Caro and I'd be like, so you into weird stuff? And Caro's like, yes, look at these novels I've written. And I'm like, yeah, Lord Nelson.
Yeah.
Like, he really does it for me.
Yeah.
Hey, it takes all to make the world go round.
That is true.
Like I said, we're all weird. Everybody's weird.
That is true.
It's
Can we
okay
have?
to be
Can we?
weird.
Speaking of music, can we have a moment of silence for Prince today?
Oh, is today the day?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. How long has it been?
You would have to ask that.
10? 15?
6.
Not-
I think it's
not over.
6.
Only 6? Wow.
I think so.
He was the best.
He was. Anyway, not to be Debbie Downer. I just wanted
Speaking of
to have a little
speaking of yesterday, Anne, I told my husband your 420 joke, and he thought it was hilarious.
Oh, good. I didn't get to use it. Okay, because normally you're out there living life and someone goes, yeah, 420, so cool. And then I go, wow, why are you celebrating Hitler's birthday? What's wrong with you? And they just go, ugh. Doesn't really
Can't you
work.
Can't you see it at a place like Burning Man or something like that? And someone's like, "Hey,
See, that would kind of fall flat here because we have so many dispensaries.
Yeah.
we do too." They're all over the place. My favorite
Yeah,
one to
people-
drive by is the one next to Burger King, and on the other side is Denny's.
Mm-hmm.
People will be like, all right, make sure you leave out your cookies and milk for Snoop Dogg. And Anne's like, weird way to celebrate Hitler's birthday, but okay.
I didn't know they were friends, but all right. You're saying there's a connection. Sure, somebody's worked out online.
I'm making like you're saying this, and I'm making the story in my head right now of how it's happening. It's almost like a weird, twisted Santa Claus thing.
I'm
Like-
impressed that Anne knows when Hitler's birthday is.
That's, yeah.
That surprises you?
No,
It doesn't surprise me.
I thought they taught it in history class.
I'm sure they did. I just didn't remember that.
That was like a thing. Like they got real uppity about when his birthday was. It's mentioned.
Yeah, that's why when
maybe-
everybody started doing the new 420, everybody's kind of like, "What's wrong with you?" It's like we're reclaiming the day. It's like a strange way to do it. Okay.
Okay. We're doing some swastikas next. Are we reclaiming those? No? Okay. That's fine.
No, clearly not.
Only
Ooh,
if you
Nick
know.
Rachel says burning witches.
Yeah, I know. There you go, Anne.
Mm-hmm.
That gets right to the puritanical.
It
Fun there.
does, but also, okay, in general, though I probably wouldn't party with the fellas, I am pro-Puritan, okay? They're
No,
Calvinists
Anne,
and
nobody
I'm
would
not-
party with the fellows. They don't
They
party.
wouldn't party with
They
you.
don't party. I think they do in a weird way because I've
Yeah,
hung
could
out
have
with
a good
some
time.
hardcore Calvinists before, and it's basically the same thing.
It would just
So,
be like,
like-
the dude circle in the yard that the guys do, right? Like, they're just sitting there talking like that. That's it.
Yeah, that's the party. They're just dudes circling out there.
Like
And they don't do
Hank Hill
Christmas.
and his friends.
Very slow
Yeah.
Christmas. But no, the whole puritanicalism, the whole witch trial thing, that was like 6 to 8 months, and everybody was really embarrassed about it afterwards. It is way
Well,
overblown.
Well,
So,
it's like King James is the one who wrote the book on witches in England because he had a problem with them, and that started all the witch hunts.
yeah.
Thou shalt not trust a drug dealer turned into like thou shalt not suffer a witch. It was like, hey, like, can we talk about this? Like, I think you're going after the opiate people. It's like, no, just all of them. Like, we can't tell the difference anymore. It's like, oh, okay, cool.
See, I'm for distinctions, but again, I'm against both. Very anti-witch. Again,
Like, you're making tea, you're selling opiates. It's the same thing. You both gotta go into the river.
That's like when I found the puritanical Valentines.
Yeah.
You almost make my heart dance, and dancing is forbidden. I thought to write you a love poem. For that thought I have beaten myself with a rough branch each night hence.
see, but again, that's okay. Again, hilarious joke, but it was somebody online talking about those really just awful milkmaid dresses that Evie magazine were promoting. And they're like, this is to fix the birth rate crisis. And everyone's like, wow, that's bad. And they're like, oh, well, you're so puritanical. It's like, you see, the Puritans, they had like stupid high birth rates. They had like 11 kids each.
Well, because they didn't do anything else for fun.
They did lots of things. Puritans were incredibly educated people who did many things,
Like
They had
fasting.
fun runs. Yeah.
like fasting and fun runs. And
They also didn't have TVs or birth control, so that might have a little something to do with that.
I mean, yeah.
I could just see them running in their little buckled shoes.
Well, they were pretty mean to Hester Prynne. That's all I'm saying.
Well, maybe she deserved it.
Oh my word. Oh, you guys.
Oh.
Yeah, and this is all because of knit-alongs and make-alongs, because we're the group of people that just do it for fun and don't get all serious and offended like other people.
Yeah.
Like,
And I can't think of any make-alongs we are doing anytime soon myself, so I am all here for everybody else's make-alongs, so I don't have to run it.
we have the stripe ones going, but that's Joe and Morgan. Therese and I have no
I have no clue.
say on that. And then we have the babies.
Yeah, babies
And-
are
and-
always babies.
Anne and DK are knitting for the babies too, I believe.
Yes.
We are currently knitting for the babies until the end of May.
April showers and Mayflowers.
Yeah.
And Mayflowers bring pilgrims.
That is for any babies, but of course, if you send them over to Amy, we appreciate it, and she appreciates it, and the babies appreciate it.
Yes, we do. Babies very much appreciate it.
For the babies.
And we are closing in on babies that'll be 5 soon.
Aw.
Oh my
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
That's awesome sauce.
It is.
I saw an update today about a baby that's turned 3, and I'm like, I can't wait till the day that we're like they're graduating high school, and I hope
Just
I
a
hope-
horde of women like sitting somewhere there. They're all like quietly crocheting or knitting. It's like,
Yeah.
I remember your campaign. I was there.
There's gonna be like these kids will be like, who are these ladies sending me cards?
It's like every year, like clockwork, I get a new hat in the mail. I don't know why.
Trust me, if I could figure out how to do that, I would.
I did see.
if any of our, because our moms, they reach the point where they graduate and then they don't have to stay in touch, but some of them choose to stay in touch.
Mhm.
And I'm like, I would love to have them, tell me in 18 years time that, okay, he's going to this college or whatever, and then knit him a hat in the college colors. Like, I would love to be able to do that.
Kind of like a full circle thing. Yeah.
I know, it'd be so awesome.
That would be cool. I did see something that I want to show Neil because I found it funny. It said, they just heard a British person call Oreos a chocolate sandwich biscuit, and they finally understood why the Revolutionary War had to happen.
Well, he can't get burgers right, so
I was explaining to my husband that biscuits are cookies there, and he's like, but they're not. Biscuits are not cookies. I'm like, I know.
saw this random thing because somehow, of course, being friends with Neil now, I see all this stuff from the UK because just apparently Anna and Neil makes that happen to your algorithm, and
I'm sorry.
and it was this girl that she originally is from Georgia, but she's lived in the UK for a long time, so she kind of has this weird Southern British accent. It's crazy, but like she was saying, apparently like over there and perhaps in other countries, they don't get their wisdom teeth removed, like at all. It's not a thing.
What if they come in impacted? You just
I
be
mean,
in
if
pain?
they're bad, like if they have to be removed, then they'll do it. But it's not like an automatic procedure like it is here.
I still have
Oh.
mine.
I thought only you got them here if you got them removed if they were like impacted or came in wrong.
Oh no, they want them all out.
Really?
Yeah,
See, that's not how it is here because my son was only going to have,
no,
you know,
they want them
a couple
all
out.
No,
I had mine removed because it had like a. This is always like my favorite thing. Like when we start talking about why we got our teeth removed, because it turns into like, oh yeah, it came out and then it was a tusk and came out my nose and all this random shit, right? But no, I just had like a gap like right there, and like stuff was getting in the back, and so I was like, let's just get it out because it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah, my generation, like you pretty much usually let them grow out if you could, because there weren't as many oral surgeons back then. Now they're like everywhere. But and it was definitely dental insurance doesn't pay for it because it's a freaking surgery. So I let mine come out all the way, and then my regular dentist pulled them. But yeah, like it's just like without like my dentist was harping on it like a year ago. I'm like, dude, chill out, okay? He's 17. He still has room, maybe to grow, and like his dad never had his taken out. I don't even know if he has them. Like I have no clue if they even came out. But my oldest one, his jaw was so much. He definitely was going to have his jaw was much more narrow, so there was no question he was going to have him out. But they like freak out about like, okay, hurry up, get your referral to get him out. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, I guess I'll take it because they didn't neither one of them need braces, so I'll take that, because
That's awesome because braces are
way more
expensive.
So but yeah, it's definitely like by the time they're 15, 16, they're like, oh, let's see if you need your wisdom teeth out. It's a whole thing. And there's like all this pressure, like, okay, you have to get the dentist has to take the x-rays, and the dentist has to send the referral for you to get the wisdom teeth out. And then you have to have the wisdom teeth out within 6 months of the x-ray, or you have to pay for the x-rays again.
Yep.
So, like, she just did it for my youngest the other day, and I'm like, okay, so now I got to call, and of course, they're only open this day and this day, between this time and this time. I'm like, do you work like 2 hours a day? What the hell? So now I've got to, like, figure it out, make an appointment, and miss a whole day of work, but, because it's such a thing.
I like how they can do that, right? Because like I think I've complained about my medical stuff enough here, but I always love it when they're like, okay, so when this happens, just come into the office and we'll see you. And I'm like, I live like an hour from you, and I work 2 hours from you, so you literally want me to stop everything to come and do this thing, so that way you can see it. Like, do you understand what you're saying right now?
Yeah. Yeah, we're not that bad off, but they're only there on certain days, and it's definitely like and I'm telling you, man, it's kind of a weird experience because like when the oldest had his done, so what you do is this is how it is for us, but you go in, have your consult, they're like, yup, you need your wisdom teeth out. I'm like, well, thanks, here's $200, and then they give you a prescription for the good drugs, and you're to take those drugs, and I mean good drugs, the morning of. So you have to get the drugs and have them in hand, and then you have your child take the drugs. Then you get there, and then they start to work in the waiting room, which that's kind of funny. But and then they take them back, and parents not actually there when they do the actual like drugs. And my son remembered like nothing. Like he remembered sitting in the chair, and he didn't remember until like 15 hours later. Wow. No recollection of anything. But like when they're done, they're like, okay, well, when you're done, you're gonna go get in your car and you're gonna pull up to the side of the building. And it's almost like this creepy drug deal because you pull up to the side of the building and they wheel them out in a wheelchair because they can't let them walk because they're on the good drugs. And they wheel them out, and then you have to get them in the car. It's like this weird, creepy exchange. It's just very weird how it's like on the side of the building, and I'm like, what y'all doing there? Because you're not in there.
It's because there's so many lawsuits about what happens to
people.
It is
because they can't let him walk out. Yeah. They have to wheel him out, and you have to take him in your hands, and you have to put him in the car. And then my oldest didn't really. I was kind of hoping for some fun stuff, but he really didn't say anything. But I was really grateful that he was cognizant enough because I was like, am I gonna have to help this person go to the bathroom? Like how out is he gonna be?
Yeah. It was different when we had ours done.
Your son hasn't had his though, right? Didn't he have to reschedule?
No, because he has to wait for his new insurance to kick in, and then see if the doctor's under the new insurance or find another doctor.
Wow, that's
Yeah, but he's okay because he's not in any pain. So they're just
Yeah,
there.
we have dental insurance, but it's only for like the cleanings and the this and that. So it doesn't really cover all that. So I had to pay cash for that. Which wasn't as bad. If you pay cash, it's not as bad as you think it is, you know. But,
Well, his I don't think his dental insurance is going to be that great, but every little bit helps.
yeah, it does. But because it's
So
a
he's
medical
waiting,
procedure, you know.
right? So he's waiting, but
So they covered
I'm
like some of it, but they didn't cover the drug part, and they didn't cover the actual
mhm,
extraction, and it was like
yeah,
this is all such a freaking racket.
yeah. I am
You know,
grateful that when I had mine out, and most our age people had ours out, there wasn't somebody filming us with a camera.
I know.
I told my son I would not do that to him because I think it's mean. Because
No,
most kids have
I
never been
wasn't
under
gonna tell him. I
anesthesia.
was not gonna post anything. I just wanted it for
Because
me.
I know, but my sister-in-laws and all, they videotaped him and showed everybody and put him online. I'm like,
That's
that's
Mm-mm.
just
rough.
mean.
Mm-mm.
Because most likely, if you're lucky, your child's never been under anesthesia before,
Right,
and you're
exactly.
filming them when they're extremely vulnerable, and you're putting
Right.
that
Yeah,
online to make
no,
fun of them. And
no,
I made my son's roommates promise that they would
no, no,
not do that,
no. I wouldn't do that.
because they may need their wisdom teeth out at some point, and payback's a bitch.
Yep.
So,
No, I would never do that. That's something my
but
mother would do, but I wouldn't.
Yeah.
though they did film my son's roommate's little brother. He's over 21, but he never drank. He was never going to drink. He was never going to do any drugs. Well, he decided to get drunk one night, and it was they found it very amusing to the point where they had to cut him off because he didn't realize how fast, since he did not drink, it was affecting him. And then he decided to try edibles one night, and
Oh boy.
he was going to do it home, where he lives with his parents, and his brother and my son are like, "No, you come to our place. We've done this. We'd rather you in a confined environment, not around your parents, where you can see how." And he had the worst reaction. Like, he had a huge
Well,
panic attack.
Yeah, alcohol and
And
weed is a totally different thing.
oh, I know. That's one of the reasons why, though, because they were could be there to actually sit there with him and talk him through it. And he's like, "Yep, Wyatt's never doing pot again." And chances are he won't do alcohol again either, because both experiences were bad. But they did film him just to show him back. So, because after he did the alcohol, he didn't believe how he acted. So when he did the edibles, they filmed him to show him that, yes, you did have a panic attack and you don't need to be doing these. So I thought I was proud of them for being mature, wanting to make sure that he didn't do them around with his buddies who wouldn't help him and stuff. But pot's legal here. We have dispensaries on every corner.
Mm-hmm.
So my neighbor's a big fan. I can smell it every time he's outside in his garage, because it's extremely strong.
They were wanting to put a dispensary in my town, and people were up in arms about it. You have to go to the next town over, and then on one street there's like 4 in a room. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, that's how it is here. You'll go down a road, or you'll go down I-15 right by the strip, running parallel to the strip, and you can see on all the side streets
Mm-hmm.
where all the dispensaries are. It's like, wow. Though the one I would like to go into, just because of where it is, it's the Zombie Apocalypse store. Now it's also a dispensary, so I want to go in and see what actually they did to switch it over, because it's a Zombie Apocalypse store / dispensary now. So I kind of want to go in just to see.
Apocalypse, and you're the zombie. It works.
Right.
But I want to go in and see the decoration, though, just to see how they handled that.
Oh,
Oh.
here, I forgot to show something off.
Oh. Show off.
Show it off. Show off.
May interest Miss Kara Brown in particular, but this hat finished. Ta-da!
Oh.
But I have. Oh, hi.
Sorry, making you big so we could see. I couldn't see it
I
because
know,
you're
I
wearing an
couldn't see
orange
it.
sweater. You're wearing
Oh,
an
yes.
orange sweater, and there's orange in the hat, so it's kind of hard to.
It's so beautiful.
Anyway,
Very cool.
Nice.
See that? See that? Very fancy. But I have another one that I'm working on
Ooh, I like that.
because I noticed, and I'm not quite sure because this is Neil's pattern, and I'm not quite sure where he pulled this particular pattern from. But I looked at another image on with the new ISOM 3 campaign. It's still out. Go get it. Just helping you out there.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
There you go. But it was flipped from the way that the angles are on this one to the other way. So I am doing this hat with the flipped angles.
Oh,
So
he's
there you
so
go.
smart.
That's what I have to share. That was
And you're so on the details.
I'm like, I
That's
won't even
right.
work on my crochet project for our secret project on here because I'm afraid I'll be distracted. And that's just a simple color. And it's like, let me do color work. I do want to show this that I randomly have next to me. If anybody wants to do this for Make Orange Great Again, I did not make
Nice.
this. Denise made this for me.
Ooh.
And it's a very pretty
Beautiful.
rust orange color. And it is a hat pattern by Molly Klein Design, Sweet Tea Yarns. I forget what the name of it is, but it's very pretty. So that would be good for Make Orange Great Again.
That would. You could not do the ribbing on the bottom and sew up the bottom and make it into a pumpkin.
You could.
It'd be a cute pumpkin.
I personally I like this. I don't know why Denise said she didn't like the orange, so she gave it to me. So, and it's been sitting here. I don't know why it's sitting here. Probably from when it was winter. I don't know.
But what did she do with the matching project bag is my question.
Put it back in the rotation.
See.
So I forget what the name of this one is. The name of her pattern, but she's got some really pretty patterns. So
That's so cute.
So
that is cute.
This is the only orange I can handle. Like, let's see. This, no,
Too much.
No. That's
too bright for you.
That's safety orange. No. Rust.
I have a little bit of a thing for burnt orange myself.
I'm burnt orange, yes. Rust, pumpkin, yes.
I'm going to be making a
if it's
burnt
with,
orange
like,
hat.
cream and green. I can handle peach if it's with some other pastel-y colors. But like
I'm
that.
going to make a burnt orange hat because my niece asked me for a hat. She lives in Iowa where it gets really cold. But the orange I'm using for my magazine pattern, this is one of the colors that I'm using. But it's a pastel because I need that for contrast. So this is the orange I'm using. It's more peachy orange.
Yeah, I could deal with that. I could deal with that.
That's very summery and
That's corally, summery.
Yeah.
Summery.
Well, because it's going to be color work, so I need the contrast.
Hello,
and this
husband.
is January Juice in April is the name of it from Sock Obsessions Yarn. So I need to get working on that at some point. But you know,
internet, hello.
Other things. Hi, Paul.
How y'all doing? How's the knitting world?
So good.
It's going. It's still there.
Play us some music.
Yeah, we need a soundtrack.
Yeah.
I hear that there might be some free yarn to be given away from my house.
No, you didn't hear that. No, you didn't hear that.
Oh, I heard it from him though. Is it true?
Oh, actually, technically, I did give yarn. Ha 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 ha. Teresa's getting a package this week and there's yarn in it. Ha ha.
You sent me yarn when you sent my stitch stoppers.
I did send yarn to Liz.
You did.
Thank you very much.
And I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
How much was it? Like, I don't know, 2 or 3 skeins. It helped.
Yeah. Totally
That
nice.
wasn't why I was sending her anything, but I was like, let me shove this in here for packaging. She can take my yarn.
Might as well.
Hey, I appreciate it. Yarn is yarn.
Like, why am I going to shove bubble wrap in it when I can put yarn in it? So,
you know, if in our dream world, the post-apocalyptic world yarn is going to be currency.
Exactly.
And Tabitha's going to be the richest one of all.
She's the queen.
That's for later. Is the ice cream in the freezer in the laundry room for anybody?
You can have it. I don't know. Denise might be
Aw.
able to give Tabitha a run for her money. I really
That's
think.
true.
I think she could give her a run for her money.
Tabitha can run the West Coast, and Denise can run the East Coast.
It'll be like the Hunger Games of.
I was just getting ready to say Hunger Games, all the districts. Yeah.
There you go. Got any Merino?
Be like, you got any more of that merino? Huh? You got any more of that? How about that mohair? You got some of that mohair? Oh, yeah.
That'd be funny, but at least most of the books have gotten away from the post-apocalyptic theme, because there was a while where every new book was dystopian novel.
Yes, now they're all just smut.
Well, there's always going to be ones that are smut. They cycle
no
in and out.
offense, because I know Caro has some smut.
No.
But I need
Did
to
you-
rant on the fact that smut still should be good writing.
Yes.
There should still be a plot. There should still be a storyline that makes me not want to physically harm the characters.
That seems fair.
Like, what? I am no longer reading any smut recommendations for people, because clearly the only parts that are written descriptively are the smut. Everything else
Well, they
is
put
just,
all
there's
the-
this guy.
They put their effort all into that,
Clearly. And I'm sorry. Most of
Don't
those
be
words are
sorry.
not nice. You
Don't
know?
be-
There
don't be
are other
sorry.
words for body parts. You know? I'm just saying.
There's a whole book for smut writers that tells them various vernacular that they can utilize to avoid sounding repetitive.
Well,
Even though they're writing
the
a
chick that wrote
repetitive thing.
Haunting Adeline should have read that book, because she sucked.
All I
So,
know is even the old Harlequins had stories along with their smut.
Haunting Adeline was like what happens when girls who watched Twilight as a child and then 50 Shades of Grey as a teenager and then never learned A, what a good relationship is, and B, what consensual sex is, and 3, how to actually write a descriptive plot aside from body parts.
Mhm.
Like when the book opens with a thing saying, trigger warning, conspiracy theories, QAnon, anti-Semitism, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, this is not a good start.
Mm-mm.
This is not a good start.
No.
And the only reason I kept reading the stupid thing was to figure out who killed the grandmother. And I figured it out like 2 chapters before the girls in the book did. So
It's because you're
it
smart.
ended on a cliffhanger, and I'm like, I don't care. Add this to the I don't care category. Like the fairy books. I didn't care. I don't care who they end up with. I don't care who they get married. I don't care who dies. I don't care. Like, give me
Yeah.
Clippy smut. Because this was bad.
Well, I know you don't like reading it, so I never recommend anything to you. So,
But I presume, yours has good writing at least.
I would like to think so, but I won't. My reviews seem to be okay so far. I'll say it
I
that way.
mean-
People I have not paid to read my book said that they were
Just-
okay.
If the bulk of your your descriptive text is only about the smut, then you can't write. You're just writing a porno.
Yeah, so I guess my question
So-
was are you reading erotica or are you reading romance? Because erotica is sex first and romance is romance first.
It's what the book. I don't know. The kids these days, they call it dark
Yeah, you
romance. They call it dark romanticy.
Oh, is that like the post that Tina put in the other day, where there was the book covers of all the really bad, smutty, and the one was the woman with the colonel, and I just
That's funny, smut. I'll be down with that.
Colonel Sanders though.
That would be funny though.
I mean,
That
he's
would-
very
that
popular.
would
A
be-
long
he's
history of Colonel Sanders
He's
romance.
very
I know, but
popular in
just-
Japan.
Oh, I know. I just
No, it's like all the people that these fairy ones. Those are not my jam, because I don't need 700 pages to hear about fairies. and it's just I don't like fantasy. So that's just I don't like fantasy.
Wow, so you just like really tortured yourself.
I did. But this particular one was not a fantasy book. There was no ghosts or fairies or any of that stuff in it. It was a disturbed individual and another disturbed individual with a sidebar story of an old murder, which that's what kept me reading was the old murder. And just yeah. I had to text the person that told me to read it. I'm like, you do realize this is not appropriate relationship, right? Like this is not healthy relationships. Please don't base this on
To go back to the original thing with dystopian, I think that is smut of a different sort. It's just misery porn.
Yeah.
It's just like, what if like the entire world ended and everybody died, but I was the smart one, the end.
Isn't that I Am Legend?
All day
Isn't
long.
Isn't that the plot of I Am Legend?
Probably.
Plot of I Am Legend is don't get a cancer vaccine.
Well, that too, but the smart guy lived, so
Is that you're talking about the book or the movie?
I don't
the
remember.
movie.
Oh yeah, the movie's that. The book was kind of more Vampire Hunter D-ish.
Yeah, the book was different.
I like dystopian, but I like dystopian in the whole point of let us learn from this dystopian novel that we not repeat it.
Yes, but I don't like the dystopian is always the teenagers have to be in charge.
No. I like the 1984 and the Brave New World and the
where it's actually adults, not just let's pretend the adults don't exist or they're just dumb and let's it's the teenagers who have to save the world. It's like, please, the teenagers couldn't focus on anything other than their phones right now to save the world. Come on. And even if there wasn't internet at the time, they'd find a way to communicate because they can't live with their own thoughts.
They haven't been taught how to process them.
True. Which is sad. We were told to, if never say you were bored because you were bored, they'd find some chores for you to do. And I was of the generation where you were kicked out of the house in summer and told to go entertain yourself. So you had to have an imagination.
Which is how we all ended up dying in fields as teenagers because no one was checking on us.
Yeah. Good
Did you
time.
have someone in your circle take a lawn dart to an eyeball? Because my mom knew a kid who did.
Not to an eyeball, but I know somebody who took one to the leg.
But we did explore a lot of abandoned houses that we probably should not have that were like falling down.
Abandoned houses and construction zone houses were
That's where I found
our jam.
That's where I found the Playgirl with Burt Reynolds in it. Wasn't an abandoned house.
Well, because back then somebody who was interested in that sort of thing couldn't enjoy it at home.
I was like 10. I was like, oh, okay. I didn't think we'd find this. I don't know why we're like we are. If only there was an explanation.
Yeah.
No,
I saw a thing.
I don't mind dystopian, and I don't mind a little smut, but the smut still has to have a story.
There's a book you might like. It's called Radiance by Grace Stavin. That's probably like the best romance ever. It's well thought out. The characters are very good, and the naughty scene is probably like a paragraph long.
Are there fairies?
No.
Okay.
I don't like fairies.
But it is. I will say it is fantasy, but like it's kind of like realism fantasy. So
I mean, I can. Everybody keeps telling me to read Fourth Wing and Onyx and all that blah blah blah.
No.
And
I'm like, don't read it. Don't. No, read Radiance by Grace Stavin. That's what I would recommend for you, based off of what you've shared with me.
I may just stick to my mystery thriller crime stories. That's my favorite.
I hardly ever listen to or read like fairies or science fiction or any of that. The only ones I will read are Discworld because they're hilarious.
Yeah. Well, I read fantasy and science fiction, but I do love Discworld.
I never did read science fiction, so that's probably my problem.
You could read my science fiction. It's 16-page long comic. It's in the
And
Ripazine
it's really good. I haven't talked to you about it yet. It's awesome.
Thank you. No, you texted me about it, so
Well, that's true. I did, but
Yeah.
not. I didn't like flatter it all over the
It wasn't
midnight
the
Public
airwaves.
appreciation.
So
I was not much of a science student because despite the fact wanting to be a marine biologist, I really didn't like biology.
that
But
is-
luckily, my biology teacher had a lending library in her classroom. Bring a book, read a book, take it back. And 99% of it was either mystery or sci-fi and fantasy. And that was my safe place during, not that we called them safe spaces or had them, but that was my way to get, books when I was in
Mhm.
high school. And I read all the old fantasy series and it just got me hooked on it. And she had
Yeah.
all kinds of books. I don't know
I'll
where she
take
got
a
them all,
Agatha
but
Christie murder over a science fiction book any day.
Mhm.
sometimes you can have the science fiction and the murder, though.
I can't say I've ever read that.
are you reading my magazine right now?
maybe.
Remember when we did book club and we had
I
to read
did.
Hitchhiker's Guide? I was like, I don't really
I
get why
know.
y'all love this so much. I'm like, I read it. It was okay. It was good, but I was like, I don't know why y'all love this so much.
I appreciate your
Because
answer.
it's funny.
Try. I'm here for you.
Thank you.
But see, I can still be friends with you all
That's
with
right.
different reading styles and books that we like. It's okay
Wow, it's like
I mean-
you're different from me. How strange.
if we're different.
I mean, it's not like Neil's ever going to read anything anybody suggests to him from this group, but after Tabitha ordered him to read some smut books, I'm not sure if he actually got through them or if he's just
I
pretending
don't think
she never,
so.
pretending that she didn't and ignoring
I
her.
want to think about Neil reading smut. That's just nuts.
Well,
Actually, I have a couple. I have a comic book that Neil gave me, and I haven't read it yet. I'm sorry, Neil.
he's probably asleep now. He won't see this till tomorrow. It's okay.
Still, I'll just get a loud text message.
That's
I'm
okay.
sure.
He
He'll
he
send me a
admitted,
voice message, and then I won't listen to it.
he admitted today that he's never read Agatha Christie.
Mhm.
Oh,
So neither has Tabitha.
but they're-
Wow.
that's pretty American, though. That would make no. That doesn't make sense. No, wait, it does.
Wait,
I
was
love
she
the old
British?
mystery writers.
Agatha
She's
Christie was
British.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I had like this confused face. I was like, yeah.
I love the old mysteries
There's a
with
Dr.
Agatha
Who
Christie,
about it and everything.
Dorothy L. Sayers, Niall Marsh, Dashiell Hammett, all those old books. They have such good stories, and they really make you have to think to find murderer. Except for Agatha Christie said she never knew till the end, and then she would go back and put the clues in.
That's how I wrote Who Done It.
See, you're following her pattern.
That's definitely the pantser approach. Yeah, that's always like so. It's always interesting when I talk to different types of writers, and if you talk to any writer and they want to be a special snowflake, and you say pantser or plotter, they're like, "Oh no, see, I don't identify as any of those." I'm like, "Stop talking." But it's always interesting to watch because they always spend the same amount of time making the book still, right? It's just where they decide, it's just where they put their effort at. So plotters put it in preparing to write the book, and then pantsers do it in editing the book.
I'm a word vomit writer. So I don't know what that is.
You're a pantser.
I write it and then I go, can someone else help me make sure that this makes sense and I didn't just totally like out the wrong person or name the wrong person or
pantser.
No, I can't wait till the next Who Done It.
Nah, I'm trying.
I know.
Life is
I'm not putting any pressure on you. I'd rather wait and have you happy with it than
Well, I want to like
try
do
to push
something really special with it, so that's why I'm also trying to figure out how to do that. So, but I
I
can't
don't
really.
care if you're happy or not. I want it done, and I want it.
It's not about you, Amy.
I want it yesterday. Ugh.
Watch it, Anne. You might be the victim. Who knows?
That's true.
Everyone is at risk. Trust me.
As we should be.
I just want to do something really special with the make along part of it.
Mhm.
So I have to
Mhm.
actually finish writing it so that we can be sure the make along part will go with it. So,
Yeah.
because it's going to take a little more preparation than last time. So,
It always does the second time around because people have expectations and
Huh?
you have,
in the shower.
Okay, he said he wanted something.
Oh, okay. Sorry, kid.
you know, all the things you go through the first one and realize, oh, I could have done this, or that. So
Yeah.
the second time around, it's like, oh,
Oh, I don't remember my whole. I have to reread my own story. I don't even remember. I remember the basics.
it was a good story.
I'm one of those people that's like, you see that meme and they're like, I'll read I'll recommend this book to you, but don't ask me what it was about. Like, I liked it, I enjoyed it, but 2 minutes after I finished reading it, I couldn't tell you all major plot details. Unless I hate it, then I remember. But if I look at it again or read it, I'll be, oh yeah, it was that one with the thing, and then you know. But like, I don't know, they all just kind of blur together. So I think
Yeah.
reading for me is like knitting or crocheting. I like the process, you know.
Yeah, I like the process, but I also like having a finished object that I don't always wear
I do too, and I like
because I don't wear
the book done.
shawls.
I like having I finished that book.
It's not cold enough for shawls very often here, so
I'll make it cold enough.
I wish you would. Please do because
Oh,
we're
I
going to
was talking-
be
I was talking
100.
about my AC.
Oh, I thought you could control the weather. I was excited.
No, if I could control the weather, it would be warmer here already.
Well, we
Well,
were
it's all
85
complaining
today.
about it is weather machine.
We'll be close to 100 within the next week or two.
Yep, soon Liz and I will begin our game.
Yeah,
Who's hotter?
you've gotten pretty close. Last year you were hot a lot. I mean,
I know.
we went
saw-
we went 90 days over 100 in a row or something like that.
I saw that you've probably seen that that cute British guy that comes to America. And he tries the foods and this and that. Me and Neil are always sending each other stuff from him. And he's apparently back in America right now and he's in Texas. So he was like San Antonio and it was 72. And he was like, how do you live when it's this hot? This is so hot. I have sweat in places.
72.
I know, 72. He was like, I have sweat in places I didn't know you could sweat. And like, my only comment was, bless his heart.
It was 72 in February
72.
here. What are you talking about?
Like, it's
Like, if
San
72,
Antonio.
the windows open. What are you talking about?
Right. 72 is like relaxing, cool, comfortable
Mhm.
weather. So,
Yeah.
You know, you guys could do a temperature, maybe not blanket or a scarf or something between the two of you. Like you only knit if your side is the warmer one.
like a baby blanket competition, but with
Yeah.
temperature.
Maybe next year we can do something like
That
that.
would be cool.
I'm afraid I must depart, for my bedtime draws near.
Hey, we're at
Aw.
2 hours anyway.
Yeah, we probably should. I need to go. I need to go
You
eat
go
something
eat.
anyway
Yep, I need to go
because
eat.
since everybody's making their own omelets, that way if they don't like it, they can't blame me.
Yep, I need to go put my pizza in the oven.
Yum.
So I can eat bread again.
Yay.
Woohoo!
Yay, bread.
That sin is tasty.
Thanks
Okay.
for coming, guys. Thanks for coming, chat.
Nice.
Thanks for being here. I'll wait
Thanks
for
for
us
having
to
me.
And thanks for sharing all your projects and, all our good knitting fun and
Keep striping,
keep striping, keep
Keep-
knitting
babying.
baby. Yep, all the baby things.
Keep striping, keep baby in. Look, this is
and-
my stripes. I have stripes.
I know you can double it, and make striped baby things.
I
Just putting it out
know.
there.
That would be awesome.
And
I love striped baby things.
be prepared because the MAGA cow and then Shark Week and then who knows what's coming up with our friends.
Who
So
knows?
who knows?
The nose knows.
At least we can say we have fun with our knit-alongs and stuff. We don't get like some of them where they get so serious and arguing over
Sometimes
things
we-
online and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes we participate.
Okay, I'm going to bed. Goodbye.
Bye. Bye. Thanks, everybody. All right.
Bye,
I need to go
y'all.
eat dinner and I like Anne in orange. It's like such a good color on her.
She does look good in orange.
Thank you.
You know.
Does.
Later, taters.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
chat.
Bye, everybody.
everybody.
Are we good, Therese? Anything else
We're
we need
good.
to add?
We're
All right.
good.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming. Bye.
Bye.